Hey everyone. I'm going to be doing my 2017 Jaguar F-Type. It's the V6, I guess premium edition, rear-wheel drive. No mods or really anything to it, just small things that I've tweaked here and there. I got it used. It's at 42,000 miles, and as far as I know, the Carfax doesn't show any sort of change in the fluid that goes in the differential. I know it's listed as a sort of like a Land Rover slash whatever exclusive Castrol bot 720. I did some research on that fluid. It's very expensive. It's about I think it was about $60 to $65 when I looked it up on Amazon last, or around that area. And of course, you're going to want to get two just in case you need a little bit of extra or whatever. But then I thought, you know what? Let me look up the specs on that. So I dug around and found that if you find the right sort of places to look, you can find the information on it, and it's basically the equivalent of a 75 weight 90. It does have friction modifiers in it. So if you're going to do what I'm doing in your garage, you want to buy that same fluid. However, I've had positive results with Royal Purple, so I'm going to be putting Royal Purple in there. You can find this at your hardware store, online, sometimes if you're lucky, Walmart. It does have the modifier additive. I have used Royal Purple oil in most of my cars if I can, and if I can't get it for any reason in the flavor that I want, I will go with Mobile. After that, Mobile 1, full synthetic. And I've always had positive results in my older cars and my newer one, which is this one here. So I'm going to be putting this in here. I have the car backed up on the ramps I bought from Walmart, and I use jack stands to just kind of add extra safety to it and block it up or whatever. Royal Purple does not pay me. Please pay me, Royal Purple. They don't pay me for this. This is always where I'm sure there's other ones that are equivalent that people swear by, but this is what I'm going to put because I did not find anybody on the forums or any YouTube videos with my car specifically and the year, and anyone using anything different other than what the factory OEM standard is. So I'm going to go ahead and drain it and then run this into it and see what kind of results we get, and hopefully they're positive. Alright, so as you can see, I've got the car up on here. I've got those as just like an added little extra protection. And one of the things you want to do when you get under your car and locate the differential, this one actually has a, I believe it's a 3/8 is what it looks like. I think yep, that's exactly what it is. So it actually used this to get it off my torque wrench. What I'm going to do is set my torque wrench in increments, move my way up until I stop hearing a click and it comes off, because I don't know what it was set at before or prior. And it looks like it's about 1, 2, 3, 4 little splines down out of here. So I just want to note that mental note when I'm putting that back on, in case I'm way off. This should still be warm because I just drove it back from getting the alignment done. You also want to check for anything that looks out of place or leaking. I did spray some reseal on some of these little rubber like dampeners, or for some of the stuff down here, you know, to keep it from rattling around. But as far as like on your differential, you want to look for anything down here or anything over there, any liquid that sign of it leaking. Luckily and fortunately, I have gotten here before any damage has occurred from hitting 42,000 miles without having this changed. And I heard it's like it can cause a lot of problems on other models, so I'm just going to cover my bases and check it out. You will also notice that because of the way that they do the exhaust, it does leave this down here at the bottom. That's just kind of normal. It will leave this in your driveway, and it comes right, it usually wipes just right off, but it's basically just like some of the exhaust soot that comes out around where these little flanges and stuff are at that kind of keep it in there. And I heard that's just because of the way they down swoop this, and maybe that's why the car revs when it turns on, to blow all that crud out. That would be my guess. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and pull that and see what comes out. Alright, so I set my torque wrench to 30 pounds, and it basically turned with like almost no problem at all. So there is pretty much like, I mean, I could almost like have turned that with my fingers and gotten that out. So what I'm going to do instead is I'm going to switch over to a regular socket or wrench, and I am going to pull that plug right there. That's the front of the car that way, obviously, and see what we get. I'm going to turn my fan a little bit because I don't want any wind blowing that thing. All right, here we go. Let's see what surprises await us. And that's not taking any effort at all to get that off. Looks like there's maybe something on it. A lot of grime, for sure. And here we go. Ooh. Well, not as bad as I thought. A little bit of stuff on here. It almost looks like it's been changed recently already. But definitely a good chunk of sludge on there. I don't know how well you can see that. I'm gonna try to see if I can get a good shot of that. I mean, this is a lot of like stuff on here. I don't know if this is magnetic or not, but that's definitely some sludge. So we'll look at that, clean that up. But that was it. I don't even think that's a whole, it's not even a whole quart, I don't think. According to the measurement on here, it is, yeah, it's like barely a quart. So I'm going to double check my numbers and make sure I put exactly the right amount back in. And then hopefully it runs even better. This looks like it was probably good for another 10,000 miles. So I guess maybe those videos about this stuff going really bad could be on earlier models. I'm not too sure. I didn't see anything in the Carfax out of all the maintenance records showing that this has been done. So if this is 48,000 miles on the same one, I'd be really surprised and impressed. But I got a feeling that this was done where it originated from somewhere. So anyway, we'll be back here in a few minutes. All right, so I had a bit of a snag here. Looks like my case is not the same as some of the other models, and so the fill plug is actually not exactly where some of the other diagrams are at. Some of them are to the right and some are to the left when you're facing the casing for the differential. So you're gonna have this sort of thing in your way here, the muffler. I'm gonna see if I can get a better angle here, and I apologize if it flips around. But there's the front of the car, and as you're turning this way, you're going to see this pipe in your way. And there's the differential there. There's the drain plug that we just put back in. I didn't put it all the way back to where I had it because I'm going to loosen it again once I've taken out the fill plug. So the fill plug couldn't be easy. No, it couldn't. It is actually, oops, move my light here to show you guys. It is actually a little plastic. It's right there, and I wish I could point at it. And I'm gonna try for accuracy's sake. That is actually it right there. So if you're facing the front of the car, it would be on the left side of the casing or whatever. And that is not your standard hex. That is actually bigger than your typical, what you have in your case. That is bigger than the one, I believe it's bigger than the one that I have here, which is, I had to use an Allen wrench just to get an idea. It's a 1/4. It's actually bigger than a 1/4. Well, guess what? I don't have one. So, luckily, this does fit. And this is just one of my little taps, and it just happens to have the right size that fit in there. So I'm going to use that to pull it out to give you an idea. That is one size. Hey, making some rain. That is how much bigger it is than that one that I had of the Allen wrench. And now, so I'm going to pop that in there and then grab another little wrench to fit around that and kind of turn it and to get it out. So I'm going to get started on that. Alright, so I got it out, and I had to use sort of a little bit of a... I had to use that little piece here to get that out. And there it is. And when it was in there, it was right up to about there. So when you put it back, you want to put it about that spot. And it looks like it is a little bit tapered on both ends. So you probably want to make sure you don't over tighten it and split the case. I'm guessing that this one's probably not magnetic like the other one was. But the drain plug is magnetic. And this piece I got, which was from a tap that I used, it fit with this little 8 on there. So this 8, I guess size 8 metric, fit on there, and I was able to start it off, and then once I got it to a certain point, it just came right out. So now that I've gotten this out, I'm going to remove the drain plug again, make sure there's nothing else that'll settle at the bottom there, and then begin the filling process using a Walmart cheap ass fluid filler or fluid transfer. Also, it's worth mentioning is on the very top you'll feel this little go nowhere little elbow, and if you see it, it has this little yellow cap on it. That is actually a breather. So you see how it has like a little space in there? You see where that little black soot is, and then it's kind of like clean. So that just kind of pops over that, and that's a breather on top. I went ahead and cleaned it out using a zip tie and just kind of ran it through the inside of that little thing. I'm going to put it back on there.